Not the worst thing in the world.
Peter Gabriel's pretty good.
Peter Gabriel could be good. Could be bad if he gets stuck in your head for too long though. All right. It's true. AOA podcast. Back on another episode. How's about this for some topics? Prince Harry. He's got the goods this time around.
Oh, he does?
Third time's a charm for Prince Harry. We'll tell you what it is. He's got some receipts. He's got some interesting stuff. We'll get into it. Kevin McCarthy, we got to wrap that up. He's the new speaker, but I'm pretty surprised at this little truth that we learned about. Plus, the Biden administration to ban gas stoves.
All right.
And Gastons. So no more.
He was a jerk. Actually, you look at that movie. Gaston was like, I'm just trying to save you from this kidnapping beast that literally held you in a castle.
Yeah.
Against your will.
It's kind of noble. Frank, you're not going to believe who Michael Jordan's son is dating. You are going to be shocked and appalled, I believe.
Michael Jordan's son is dating Snooki.
And running into old schoolmates. All that and more on this episode.
Whoa.
J Saps has joined us.
She has.
I was just rocking out with my cock out.
Nice.
No, I was jamming. Darn it. No, I wanted to say the other thing.
What?
You were jamming with your jamming
out. I was jamming out with my clam out.
There you go. Oh, there she is.
I never heard that one.
Well, you heard it here first.
All right, Prince Harry. He's coming with receipts this time around. He was on 60 Minutes on Sunday, January 8th. Of course, Monday the 9th here at the time of the podcast. Boy, did he's got a book, apparently.
Who doesn't?
So, but this is the thing. Oprah interview, kind of stunk. Nothing really there. Netflix documentary, kind of stunk. Nothing there. Now all of a sudden,
saving it all for the book?
Dude, he's got this book. Janine, you saw some of this?
I did.
He admitted to drinking heavily. He admitted to drug use. He called out, wait until I tell you what the drugs too. He not like the easy, not like, whatever, did a little bump of coke. What's the big deal? No, he did like the big ones.
It's bigger than coke?
Yeah, it's bigger than coke.
Man.
Calls out Prince Andrew, which I actually appreciated greatly. And then the whole tiff about the wedding dress with the niece and Kate Middleton. Did you see all that?
No, I didn't see that part, but I was very surprised at him thinking his mother faked her death.
That was
for years.
Do you want to start? Do you want to start there?
Oh wait, but he was a kid. He was right. He was how old?
How old was he when she died? He was tiny. 12?
No,
kid, right?
10?
Wait, how old? How old is
he now? The 90s, right? Wasn't this the 90s?
Somebody in the chat will help us.
Well,
he's sitting across from that Anderson Cooper though, and he goes, "Yeah, I thought my mom for years. I thought she faked her death." Because basically he was, the big crux of the interview basically was look at how awful the paparazzi is and just how terrible they are. And he knew how much his mom hated it. So he kind of thought that she faked her own death to get away from it. And that any day he would wake up in the morning and go, maybe today's the day she'll reveal herself back to me.
Oh, yep. So it was like a denial thing. It was a denial.
It was a combination. Really yeah, him just trying to put it into perspective and also being in denial that she was really dead and gone.
Right. All right. So Christine in the chat says, I think he was 12.
I think I said that, right?
I don't know what you say.
5 points for me. Put it on the board. Okay.
It's on the board.
Well, she died in 97 and he is...
I have no idea.
You're calling Christine a bullshit?
38.
Liar?
All right. So do some math. I can't. I'm not going to sit here and do math.
Yeah, I got nothing.
97. So it's 38 minus 22
13.
Minus 25 years. Or 20. Minus 25 years. I don't know. He was 17.
All right. Anyway, so he goes, he believes this, that she's not really dead right up until he was like, what, 20 something? And they tell him, like, do you want to see the photographs? And he basically looks at the photographs, looks at all the photographs of the accident, and he sees the back of his mom's head in one. Then there was another one where he sees like everything, and
Wait, why would they show him this?
he chooses
He
not
wanted. He wanted to see it.
He wanted
when
to
he
see
was a kid?
No.
when he got older.
Oh, still, why would you want to see that?
Because he was so in denial, he thought she was going to come back. It was almost kind of like he knew he had a look,
Yeah.
you know. So that was a pretty sad thing. But he went up. He almost looked at like all like the shots of her completely there, and I guess his private handler or whatever was like, "Don't look at that. Don't look at this one," and stopped him from like going all the way.
I did the math in my head. He was 13. 12 or 13.
I think I said 13 too. So I feel
You
like
said you said he was between 1 and 50. You said.
Yeah. So you were right.
just feel like if anybody would listen to me, we would be saving a lot of time. Hey, let's hear it for Frank for drinking a 16-ounce Snapple for once. That's a nice little.
First of all, it's a
New year, new Frank. New year, new Frank.
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Sorry. As long as that's not a 64-ounce
worse
jug, I'm happy. We're moving in the right direction.
That's upstairs. I keep that. I don't put that on the air anymore because I get ribbed for it. It's not cool.
So there was that. Then he turns around and he goes, somebody, I'm going to paraphrase for him here. He goes, somebody explain to me how the fuck a pederast still has round the clock security and me and my wife can't get a goddamn bodyguard. Which
You
is
can get a bodyguard.
a good point. No, he's paying for his own shit. He's basically saying,
Oh, I thought you meant you and your wife.
Prince Andrew molested the shit out of people and even settled it and admitted to doing it, and he's fucking fine in his ivory tower with his security. Yet I'm out here fending for myself.
I don't know how he's not shunned worse than they are.
It's a good point.
He should be out. You gone. Sorry.
It is a good
You're
point.
no longer part of this whole thing we're doing here.
Yeah. And I don't know what happened here with this book. I don't know if they were just strategically saving all this stuff, but I feel like, again, he's got the receipts this time around, and he's hitting the points that he needs to be hitting, which is the pure, just hypocritical nature of the royal family. Like the other thing he talked about a lot was, they talk about they're feeding this animal of the tabloid culture in the UK. And they're leaking stories to them, and they're like wrapped up in playing in this game. And it was so bad that the mother was trying to get away from all of it, and they just didn't care because they were just like, basically, he was saying that the royal family doesn't exist without the tabloid culture surrounding it. And he's kind of right about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. I didn't think he was. Why is this only coming out now? I mean, he had to wait
because he did a 60-minute interview with who's the gay guy with the white hair? Anderson Cooper. Is he really gay? I always forget. I always feel like
he is. Yeah.
Okay, because I always feel like he's definitely not, and then I think he definitely isn't. I can't remember.
He's with what's his name? I forget his name.
Andy Cohen, but not really.
Yeah, and they do New Year's together. Don't they do?
No, they're not together.
I thought they were together.
No, that's what everybody thinks.
Well, maybe I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
I really thought they would. Didn't they adopt? Didn't they just have a kid?
No, they're just good friends.
They adopted their own kids separately.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. I thought they were together. My bad.
Yeah. But he went on Anderson Cooper and kind of blew everything up with all this new information, and now the book comes out tomorrow on January 10th. But it's like, where was all this shit during all the Netflix documentaries and the fucking Oprah interview?
Because you had to wait for the book. The book is where it's going to sell now.
Book is where the money. If I was Netflix, I would be pissed the fuck off.
Well, maybe he had like a non-compete with Netflix. Like, you can't tell these stories until like a year or however long this thing. When did this thing come out? His Netflix thing?
Only a few months ago, right?
A few weeks ago, just before
ago,
Christmas.
Yeah, no, then I'd be pissed. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he basically saved all the fucking shit for his book.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking suing his ass right now. I'd be like, you couldn't tell the Netflix audience you were on fucking drugs?
He probably didn't get paid enough.
All right, so what drugs did he do?
All right, he admitted to drinking heavily.
Right.
after his mom died, and
At
he's
13 years old?
at 13 years old.
Oh God.
He
They don't have wait. They don't have people watching them. I mean, I know they're
well,
royal. They could do what they want, but doesn't he have like guards and handlers and people that would keep an eye on this kid so he doesn't drink when he's crazy when he's 13?
I can't say 13, but I mean, if you do the math, it had to be at some point during his teen years, because
Right.
by the time he was 20 was when he asked for the report, to see the report and to see the photographs. So I would assume that around then he kind of got, but maybe it was after that. I don't know. He was asked by Anderson Cooper what he did to, come to terms with his mother, and he admitted to booze, cocaine, pot, and more. He also said that he felt that using psychedelics, ayahuasca, psilocybin, and mushrooms helped him get over the loss. So, I mean, that ayahuasca, that's the drug of all drugs, I feel.
What is that?
All right. So, ayahuasca is like a psychedelic. It's like a mushroom. It's like those other things that he named. But when you do ayahuasca, you have to be, you don't
like
just,
peyote?
it's not a drug that you get and then do. Like, you have to be under supervision of somebody throughout the whole process. Like,
that's my point. Like, who are his drug people, that his contacts that get him drugs? Like, and how is anybody that under that much watch able to do this kind of stuff?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. Who's the girl comic that had a late night show? Chelsea Handler. She had a show on Netflix for a little while where she would just go around and do different things. Mm-hmm. And that was where I got most of my information on ayahuasca, because she was like, I'm going to go do ayahuasca. Come film me do it. And basically, like, she had to fly down to somewhere in Central America. You get like a proper shaman or something, like somebody who's like an expert in this area. They give you the ayahuasca. You basically are sick for a little while. Everybody throws up on it. You wind up throwing up on it. And then once you get past that like initial sickness and vomiting, then you start to get into just the psychedelia of it. And then you're just gone for like 10 hours.
Okay, so it's not.
And they have to watch you,
regular,
though. Like, they will not let you go alone. Like, you have to be supervised.
So it's like a part of some kind of ritual, and it's not like a drug that you could do like once a week and everybody, it's not like
right.
You get a regular shipment of it, and you have to go to like a special place, like a
right.
Okay, it's one of those.
And even like people who have done mushrooms or LSD, people who have done all those serious psychedelics will say that ayahuasca will take you to the most bizarre places.
Ooh.
Like that's like you see like this like if you just Google it and you just read the stuff that people say, like they say they see their own souls talking to them and all just sorts of crazy like insane shit. And I mean that's heavy for a kid to be doing.
I love it.
If he was a kid when he did it, or if probably after. See, I would imagine he'd want to do that after, because I don't know why you would want to see those pictures.
Well, I'll tell you what's weird about it, and I could be totally wrong about this, but for the most part, I think it's such an expensive undertaking that it's not like a kid just goes and gets like a tab of acid, or
That's
you
what
could
I'm
just
saying. This has got to be like a setup thing.
Yeah, and like I said,
almost.
It's not really something that's readily available everywhere. It's like you kind of got to go to certain places, and I think Central America is a big part of that. Yeah, here, see, Christine's got, yes, it's in Central America. Like, I think you got to like airfare and hotel, and like I said, it's a whole like 2-day ordeal doing this, so it's not like a cheap undertaking. So that's a big drug to be doing as a kid.
Yeah, it doesn't sound recreational. Sounds like a one-shot deal. Like, you go there, you have, you sit around a fire or something.
Yep, that's what they do.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's true. That's exactly what they do.
Now, having said all this, I'm going to throw it around the room here. This is a live chat. Could you do ayahuasca? Would you want to do that?
No, I don't even do pot. I'm going to do ayahuasca.
I wouldn't
go from 0 to 1 million in one step.
Jay?
I would not. I do not like throwing up. To me, throwing up is the most grossest, disgusting thing. And if I knew like that was going to happen, nah. But what's the fun in throwing up? There is no fun in throwing up unless
Well,
you
you don't
believe
throw
it.
up through
Then
the
it's
whole
fun.
thing, right? You throw up
In the
right at
beginning, primarily. Yeah.
and then it's like 10 hours of freaking out.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing is, you also like have the shakes and like
Yes.
you sweat, and it's just
But while you're are you feeling like you have the shakes and the sweats, or are you
yeah.
like on another planet?
No,
You
you
don't
see
even know
people
what's going on.
shivering. I
Yeah,
saw Chelsea
no. You
Handler do that.
probably are. You probably look like you're shivering and you're freaking out. But
I
in
know
your
what you're
head,
saying. I think you feel all that in the beginning until you then start to.
then you like go under and
Yeah.
you're in another dimension.
Yeah.
So you probably don't even realize that you're shaking and shivering and whatever.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
So you're both no's?
You would do it.
I'm a no.
Pussies.
You would do it.
Doing ayahuasca. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. Let me put it this way. Aren't you at least a little bit curious as
Well, it's
to
like
what you would
shrooms.
see?
It's like shrooms. Shrooms,
Yes.
you hallucinate with shrooms and you freak out and you see different shit. That's
Okay,
what it sounds like. It sounds like ayahuasca is like shrooms on steroids. You know,
It's shrooms
like
on shrooms, I think is what you're trying
shrooms
to
on
say.
shrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Like, are you interested in shrooms?
Okay, here's the question though. And this is what's fascinating to me about all of this. And maybe this is just because I've been watching too many movies and listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson too much.
Oh God.
Are you going
No
to
thanks.
a place in your mind with this stuff, or are you or is it giving your mind the ability to go into other realms or realities, universes?
Ooh.
I think, honestly, it's interesting to think about, but I think the simplest explanation is probably the correct one, where it's just fucking with your head. It's
Okay,
a chemical messing with your head.
can I say this? Both are fascinating to me because I find it just as fascinating that what do they say? Like we don't use 90% of our brains or something like that.
Huh?
What's going on in there? What's going on in that 90%?
I think that's a. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that's a false, like not an urban legend, but like a mistaken fact. It's not a real fact. I think the fact of it is you only use 10% at a time. You use all different parts of your brain.
Yes.
And you use pretty much all of it, I think, but you only use 10 at a time.
I don't know if you're correct on this. I don't know.
I don't think there's 90% of brain that you just don't use. Otherwise, brain surgery would be a piece of cake.
Okay, but there has to be something because if we're gonna buy into, you're not going into other universes, right?
Mhm.
Then you're definitely going somewhere that you don't have access to normally without using these state altering drugs.
But is it stuff that you can imagine, or is it all new information? Because if it's stuff that your brain can make up, then it's just accessing part of your imagination and part of your brain. But if it's stuff you would never even think to put together, or I mean, is it giving you new information, or is it just showing you what you can do with your own thoughts?
I tend to think about it like Earth. Like, yeah, going into outer space and finding a Martian is interesting, but then again, you watch those little submarines that go all the way down into the depths of the ocean, and the shit you find down there sometimes is crazier than what we imagine is out in outer space.
I think we know more about space than we do about our own ocean. Because they say, well,
we don't know about the
95% of the ocean. We've never explored.
That's because the Earth doesn't use 90% of the ocein.
Or it uses all of it, just not at the same time.
I think you're wrong. Also, Paige says it's correct that we don't use 90% of our brain.
All right, go up 2. Christine says,
Paige knows everything, so I believe her.
I heard what Frankie just said is true.
Ooh.
We're going to need a third person to weigh in on this.
Ideas on the internet.
I like Robin right below. We need a head of lettuce for a prop. Seinfeld reference?
No.
I'm with you,
I didn't get
Robin.
it.
I got you.
Oh, wait, there it is. Sorry, wrong comment. Okay. We need a head of lettuce for a prop. There you go.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, that's what I understand. I think it's if we used more than 10% of our brain at a time, then we would be, we would have we would be more able to, we'd be smarter and more able. But I think we use the whole brain. It's just a matter of how much of it at one time.
Ooh, snap.
Okay, Paige is clarifying, taking it back. There is mixed science
shit.
on it.
Aha.
See, and my favorite movie of all time, the thing I base my whole life on, which is
Weird
Defending
Science?
Your Life. No,
Yeah.
what? See, Meet the Parents?
I said weird science.
Oh, no.
Meet the Parents.
In Defending Your Life, they say that, remember, that was the whole purpose. Like stupid people use 3% of their brain, and the smart intellectual people use 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% of their brain.
Maybe, but you ever see like they do these brain scans and whatever, and they say, they do these tests on, they have the subjects smell a rose, or they have them do a math problem, and all different parts light up and everything. It's not just 10. I feel like 10%. We'd only see a little bit of, I feel like we use the whole thing. Because if we only use 10%, then the other 90%, why couldn't we just go in there? Like if we had to do brain surgery, we could just ignore the other 10%. And why can't we narrow down what 10% we're using and just protect that little piece? If we
This
had
is
to.
too deep for a Monday.
All right,
Next.
but are you not curious at
That's what
all
she said.
to find out what it would feel like and what you would see? What else is in your own brain?
Sure, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. That sounds cool and to do that, but what the fuck is it doing to you? If it's
Could it be much crazier than what is going on inside in this brain right now? I don't know.
I don't think so. I'll tell you I am dying to know. I am very curious. The only thing that keeps me from doing a drug like this is I am terrified that it would just take too long. Like it would be like 10 hours. And by hour 3, I'd be like, okay, I want this to stop now. I want this. Like, cause you ever get really drunk and you're like, okay, I need this to stop now. I don't want to be this drunk anymore.
But-
and you got to
Oh.
ride it out for another 3.5 hours.
But I think you're not considering the fact that you're going to be for those 10 hours. I don't think it's going to feel like 10 hours to you.
You think
I
it'll
think
go
it's
by
gonna-
quicker?
I think it's going to feel like a dream.
Maybe.
You dream, but like a reverse dream where your dream is quick. Oh, I guess regular like a dream. Your dream is quick, but
And
you're
do you
sleeping for 10 hours.
Do you feel like you'll be forever altered? Like once you see some of this shit,
Well, you'll be altered in the way that you've seen more stuff and more. Your imagination is probably expanded. I don't know if your understanding of the universe will expand. I can't imagine you'll be given more info than you already have just by doing a drug. I don't like you're all of a sudden going to understand string theory. Probably not.
Then why do so many people want to do
probably-
this?
Well, it's probably a cool trip, and you zone out and you see fascinating stuff and you have weird feelings and experiences. I can't imagine it makes you smarter. Right?
I gotta
What drug,
say, I have to say this too, and I'm curious to get both your takes on this. I am more curious about this now than I was when I was 16. Like 16, I had no desire to do any sort of drugs or drink or anything. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know if it's just because it's like a boredom thing. Like you just go through life so much. You're like, all right, enough. What else is there?
What else we got? Ayahuasca? Sign me up.
Yeah, can I peek into another multiverse a little bit?
You
I
know
don't
what? I agree with you because I never had any desire to do any drugs at all. Like no, and I recently tried marijuana only in the last couple of years. I never had any desire to do it before. So only in the last couple of years have I tried it. So
Okay. Yeah, I've never wanted, I've never had the urge to do that. Yeah, when we were little, when we were teens or whatever, I really wasn't interested in any of that. Same deal. But now you're saying you're done. You've seen everything there is to see.
yeah,
Let's open my mind to different
Right.
dimensions.
Pandora's box.
There's a little
Not
bit
her
of that. Yeah, right. Don't you think, Janine? Like there's a little bit of like, okay. Like how many Saturday nights have you been through? Like
Ugh.
hundreds.
That what? that are horrible or just
Thousands?
boring or
More like
Both that are
thousands.
great and fantastic. All of it. You kind of like hit the whole spectrum. Like at a certain point, you're just kind of like, all right, let me see.
Times.
And that's why my movie watching is more adventurous too. It's like, I feel the same way about food. Like think about the amount of food that you eat that
Yeah,
you
that's
would
true.
never go near when you were 18, 19, 20
Mhm.
years old.
That's true.
Because you just
Sure.
get to a point where you're like, all right, I've had a cheese enough. I've had cheese. I know what cheeseburgers are like. I want to taste what a fucking rabbit tastes like.
Are you going to do the same thing with friends? Like, are you going to get a new group of friends? Like someone
Yeah.
has,
He's been trying for
can't
years
wait.
now.
like someone has.
Yeah,
You don't have another group of friends that we call the others.
yeah, but she brings them into the mix. I've been
Nah, I
ponying up
refuse,
to
so.
my neighbors, just trying to
I
get
can't
in with
have
them.
worlds collide. No good.
Yeah,
Janine's a
have
very worlds
independent
colliding
Frank.
person. She's not
Yeah.
afraid to make worlds collide.
That's true.
it's more like, oh my god, imagine these two get together. Let's see what kind of ruckus that could cause.
Just sit back and watch the fireworks.
Frank, I don't know what it is about you this episode, but you got big D energy on this episode.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah. Paige, Anthony is opening me up to the idea. I say group ayahuasca trip. That's what we're getting to. That's what we're gonna do. Maybe we can get a group rate.
We could. I mean, is that like, will you find that on like Travelocity or something?
I think so. I think Expedia has an ayahuasca
Expedia?
section
Pretty good.
to under experiences. All right, last thing with Prince Harry. Again, like I said, he's got the receipts. Now I haven't seen this, but supposedly, because the book doesn't come out till tomorrow, but they shared some of the book with some media outlets. So people are reporting that there's a text message between Kate and Meghan about the niece's dress for when they were getting married, and it goes as follows. Kate says, Charlotte's dress, Charlotte is her daughter. Charlotte's dress is too long, too baggy. She cried when she tried it on at home. Meghan responded, right. And I told you the tailor has been standing by since 8 a.m. here at KP. Can you take Charlotte to have it altered as the other mums are doing? Kate responds, no, all the dresses need to be remade. Meghan says, I'm not sure what else to say. If the dress doesn't fit, then please take Charlotte to see AJ. He's been waiting all day. And Kate responded, fine.
Okay. So what's the big controversy there?
Ooh.
Kate's being a little bit of a bitch there, I think, no?
Yeah, but then she went fine. She probably did it, and
Oh,
I
hold
feel
on,
like we're
Cuddles
making a
has
big deal out
different-
of nothing from that.
But if there was a tailor there, if it's like, here's the dress, tailor it to your specifics, why is Kate making her change dresses entirely? Hold on.
No. Okay, why don't you just hit me with the mic? First of all, why is he putting this in the book? Why
Yeah,
does
that's
he
a
want to
little
be
weird.
a real housewife and put in stuff between two women? Even if one's his wife, it was all resolved. And Megan even said it. It was mommy brain. Kate had just had a baby a month before, and she understood it was all her hormones and everything. And she came out and said that.
This is
So
what I'm talking
why
about.
is he coming out and putting this in a bitch fight between two women? Why is he trying to be a housewife? Like, Megan addressed this already. She said it was hormones on Kate. So why
I
is
agree.
he now bringing it up to make it sound like it was this horrible thing? Yes, it probably wasn't. Megan started. Megan was mad. Kate cried. Hormones. Hello, she had a baby a month before. And now he's making it this big thing. He's like, he wants to be a housewife, real housewife of wherever he lives.
Cuddles,
I
ladies
agree.
and gentlemen. Cuddles.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, why did he put this in about them? But
Yeah.
also, he's probably just trying to show everyone, like, oh, woe is us, you know?
He's trying to sell books. I mean, that
Yeah, I know.
intrigued me a little. I didn't know everything that Cuddles just said, but so
I found that to be, I think Cuddles, I found it to be very keeping up with the Kardashians.
Catty,
Who
very
gives a
catty.
shit? Like, the dress didn't fit. Get it tailored. No. Okay, I don't know what to say except get it tailored. Okay. That's like a nothing conversation that who cares about. I feel like, where's the controversy? I don't see any, you know, it's just two people that were arguing about a dress and they solved it. There's really nothing there. I don't see
Actually-
why that's such an interesting thing.
Christine wrote something, and as she wrote this, I do remember this. I do remember them saying this. talking about Megan making Kate cry.
Oh, but in the Oprah interview, she
Yeah.
said Kate made her cry. It was to clarify and correct the tabloids.
See, this sounds like there's two stories, and the truth probably is they both cried about it, maybe, and one thinks that one made them cry, and the other one thinks that they made them cry, and they probably both made each other cry over this back and forth, and they're probably both right, because it seems like they both cried. If one's saying, from what Christine just said.
Wait, I just want to say one thing. When you're getting married and you're a bride, there are stupid things that you cry about. Just like when you're pregnant, there's stupid things that you cry about. I'll tell you something I cried about when I was getting married. I don't know if I didn't say this.
I love it.
Uh-oh. Was it about your roommate looking at some girl's ass?
Oh, no, that was years. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to have to go yell at him for that.
No problem. Once a week, we'll remind you.
Right. So I was giving out ice cream scoopers as favors. And one night, me and roommate went to dinner, and we came back to my house. This is when we were engaged, before we got married. And my mother was like, "Oh, I did the favors. I put the bows on them, but I didn't put them on all the same way. I put them on all different ways." And I looked at her and I went, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, come look." Well, okay, so they were in like a long, thin box, and and the bows were just put on like all different ways. Well, I fucking cried like you wouldn't fucking believe.
Here's your fucking ice cream scoop.
And I swear to you, like maybe I was getting my period or something. I don't know. I was like, "What the fuck did you do?" I literally said this to her, my mother. I'm like, "What the fuck did you do?" And she's like, I remember she like all the color was like drained from her face. She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm
terrible.
Like, "What the fuck? Why would you fucking do this? This looks fucking horrible." So I remember my roommate just staying there awkwardly, like. So I looked at him. I was like, "Help me take the fucking bows off. We're doing this over right now."
God. That is awful.
And that's it.
Honestly, I'm on your side. Your bitch of a mother fucked up those bows. How dare she?
How dare she go out of her way to try and help with the favors and mess it up that badly?
Oh my God! You know what's funny? I'm getting like a little angry thinking about it right now. Like, how dare she? How dare she think that would be even cute looking?
You couldn't just go. She tried to help.
Right.
And it's not a big deal because it's just the favors. No one's going to compare bows.
What, Frank? Get out of here. So in this instance, am I Kate or am I Megan? Ooh, am I the bitchier one?
I don't know. But I was just going to say, people get crazy around weddings.
Oh, yeah.
And not even just the bride, though. It's weird. Like cousin Victoria. Like, you hear this shit, and then all of a sudden these people out of nowhere are like, well, they gave it. And you're like, who the fuck are they? Like, just weird scenarios of like, if this is supposed to be the bride and groom's day, and now you got like the third cousin chiming in with her fucking thoughts on the, the dress colors, and you're like, shut the fuck up. Like, just let it all be. But families get nuts during weddings.
Yeah,
it's true.
I'll never understand. You know what? Somebody I used to work with at the radio station gave me the best advice ever. I'll shout her out, Amy. She fucking came to me during the craziness of our wedding planning, and she goes, "Listen to me." She goes, "In 2 or 3 years, you're going to have children, and none of this is going to fucking matter." She's like, "Mark my words." And that couldn't be more true.
Yeah, I don't even remember your wedding.
You live and die by those wedding plans, and then you have a kid, and like that kid turns 1, and you look back and you go, what the fuck were we even worried about or cared about?
It's true. And then you think about like 16 years later and you go, why the fuck did my mother have to touch my ice cream scooper?
In the grand scheme of things, that was like that was like the biggest problem you've ever had.
No, well, there was bigger problems. There was, but maybe because just everything all at once. But Oh my god, I'm gonna have to text my mother right now. Actually,
Did you have a drama-filled wedding?
I did. There were certain aspects of it that were like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Us too. We had some drama.
Yeah.
You know what? Day of, we were all right. I think.
Yeah.
We were smooth, but leading into it, there was some rough spots.
Yep.
Like what?
There was.
I mean, Frank. I love Frank. He doesn't remember shit. Like
Really?
he literally, he has no idea.
You better text him. I'll text him on the side. Huh? It's like a Thanos fit, huh?
I don't know what's going on most of the time.
Frank's brother nearly died at your wedding. That was
That I wasn't aware of when it was happening, but I found out later.
Yeah, that's because as
There was
true
drama
friends,
around that though, too, right?
as true friends, we would have let him die, and we would have protected you from it. We would have buried him and moved on, and just years later been like, I don't know what happened.
A couple years later, be like, where the hell? I haven't seen Mike in a while.
I haven't seen my brother in a little bit. Don't worry about that.
On? Yeah, he was just overly drunk. He did not.
But it's a sore subject for his wife 10 years later, 16 years later.
Well, because his other idiot friend is arguing with his idiot sister, and they're still having the same argument fucking 10 years later on the degree of drunkenness. Like, it makes a difference.
Who cares? Yeah,
Like,
that's my
yeah.
point. There's so many little things that why make a big deal out over these little things? Like
All the people need to know is he got so drunk he threw up in a magazine rack, which
Yeah.
was an all-time. Because
they were
any
old
magazine
magazines
rack,
anyway.
I don't care what it is just filled with slots and holes. So you can imagine
That's what she said.
It was basically a
It's like-
colander of vomit.
Filled with slots and holes, like your mom, man.
It's nice.
leave
mom's
Joanne
good.
alone. Listen, we just sent Joanne back on an airplane to Florida.
Oh, so you guys are not having parents in the six. Parents in the house six, sorry.
No, we are not.
Sorry.
We are not. It
You
was
think they did it in your house?
my parents.
Yeah.
You think my parents fuck in this house? I don't know now. I think they have, but not this trip.
Now you guys do, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we don't let anything slow down this sex train.
Good for you.
But we did 3 weeks with them. Whew. It's tough. I don't know about you guys. See, I don't know. You both have really nice mothers. My mother, this
Your
was
mom's
my
nice.
this was my exchange with my mother the other day. I go downstairs into the kitchen. She's down there making coffee. I think I'm getting ready to take the kids somewhere, and she's like, you're doing. I was taking I don't know what I would like. I was taking the kids to the umpteenth fucking movie during the and my mother goes, you're being a really good dad by doing this. And we had this like moment, and I was like, I was about to be like, thank you for acknowledging how hard I'm working as a father. She goes, you're doing a really good job with all this. She goes, we got to lose some fucking weight because you.
No, she did not say that.
Oh boy.
On my children who are sleeping in the other room. That's Joanne's love right there. That is Joanne's love.
She's just concerned. She's a
Yeah,
concerned mom.
That's what she does to me. She goes, now, can I just say, this is, you wouldn't be able to tell, but I've been hitting the gym for what, the last 4 weeks? So I'm already putting, this is my mother, not helpful advice 4 weeks too late. Like, I'm already making the adjustments in life, and she can't just let it happen. She's got to like put a little fucking dig into there.
That's fantastic. I think I just came up with $1 billion idea.
Which is what?
A fast food place called The Gym.
Oh,
And you
Nice.
just say, I'm going to the gym.
yeah.
I'm hitting the gym. It would be, people would go, and I think it would be a good, I think people would go to that.
Give me the elevator pitch. What happens there? They just eat like
It's
pigs?
food. It's right. It's yeah. It's to get fat.
To get
It's a fast
fat.
food place. It's a
Just
fast
so you
food
can say you're going to the gym?
Yeah, the allure of it is
All right.
it's a I'm going to the gym. It's a joke, but it's really good food. Fast
By
food.
the way, have you look, I'm this guy now. Look, see?
What the hell is that?
Oh, you're stepping.
Are you counting your
You're
steps? How many today?
I don't know. I don't know how to work this thing.
That's what she said.
That's good.
I just put it on and it became this
It's like
guy.
his wife's G-spot. Huh? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, did I get it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, but
All
I
right, so
became
good luck.
I became that guy. Oh, I don't want to harp on it, but
Oh, that's good. You're going to the gym. That's awesome.
Good for you.
I'm tracking steps, guy. Yeah, good for me. Really
Good for
proud of
you.
you. You're being a good dad, you fat fuck. Thanks, Mom. Thanks
Now,
a lot.
did you go to the gym because your mom said that, or you were going to the gym already?
That was like I told you, I'm 4 weeks into going.
Oh, all right.
I've been going, and the times she said this to me, she's at least seen me go 3 to 4 times, and still
Okay.
felt the need to. This, by the
Oh.
way, is my wife's doing. She's just like, listen, you son of a bitch, you're not having a heart. Like she's really doing her best to keep me alive at this
Oh,
point.
okay. So it's okay when your wife calls you, says you have to.
No,
lose
well,
weight.
she didn't do that. She was just like, I want to make sure you stick around. You know, she's like, because this is miserable. So if I'm going to go through this,
Well, that's all your mom was trying to do, I think.
I don't know. I thought it was a little. I thought it
Maybe
was
a little tactless, but that's all right. You know, could have tiptoed around it a little bit.
She could have. Yeah, she could have. She did not. She ran right through that stop sign.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, can I tell you about the best meal of my life?
What do you mean? The other night? No. Was it really?
Is this before or after you hit the gym?
Yeah, right.
I went to the gym in the morning of the best meal of my life, just in,
Okay.
as an
for you.
anticipation. The tradition in my family, Uncle Glory Hole takes us all out to a restaurant instead of getting us Christmas gifts.
That's nice.
That's what we do every year now. So, and every year he makes it a surprise. So, like, we don't know we don't know what to expect. We don't know what we're doing. We don't do free plugs, but I have to mention it because if anybody has a chance to go while they're in New York City, we went to this place called Le Coucou,
Okay.
which is a Michelin star French restaurant. So we go and we're sitting there, and I mean, Frank, I can't even tell you. I don't even know what he fucking drops on these dinners. Like
Michelin
mortgage,
star restaurant. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be up there.
like somebody's mortgage. He puts down
Right.
on this one fucking dinner. On me, my cousin, my wife, just a complete waste. I mean, you couldn't pick a worse crowd to spend money on. But we go and they give us the menu, and then they give us this little card, and it's like you can have a tasting menu for this much. And so
Mm.
now it's like, Uncle Jamie goes, well, what's in the tasting menu? So the waitress goes, well, it's whatever the chef decides. Now I'm intrigued because I'm like, and she goes, he picks some stuff on the menu and he gives you some stuff off the menu. Now I'm fucking in.
That's fun.
If a chef is going to cook for you off menu, that is shit that they are really good at and really passionate about and don't, it's not enough to share to the masses, the mass public. So we do the consensus. Now my wife goes, I was kind of coming here for one dish in particular. And my uncle goes, I was kind of coming here for another dish in particular. And we don't know if we're going to get it. So we said to the waitress, like, it would be great if we could do these two. Because it was like, he gives you like 6 different appetizers, 2 different entrees to share, and a couple desserts. So we're like, can we really name our 2 entrees and see if he'll come through with it? He did. And they were
Nice.
2 of the best fucking things ever.
Ooh, what was
What
it?
was it?
All right. So one was duck 3 ways.
Mm.
It was duck breast, which was phenomenal. Then it was the leg, which was cooked in this, I don't know, D, what would you say? It was almost like a teriyaki sauce, for lack of a better term, but like not the stuff you get in your local fast food Chinese place, like a billion times worth of flavor. And then they served it in a foie gras,
Mm.
which
Oh, boy.
was to fucking die for.
You like that?
Oh my God. Now I know
Good
it's
thing you
like,
hit the gym.
I know it's a little inhumane and it's definitely not healthy. So here's what happens. So it's me, my wife, Uncle Glory Hole, Uncle Jamie, my cousin and his wife. Now, 6 of us. So they're basically bringing a portion for each table where, so I'm sitting across from my cousin's wife, my wife's sitting next to me, my cousin, Uncle Glory Hole, Uncle Jamie. So every table's got a thing. So now my cousin's wife goes, I don't really want to eat the foie gras. It's not humane. And the 5 of us start looking at each other on who's going to get her fucking portion of foie gras. That's how fucking good it was. But the best dish we had was this thing called pike mousse. Now, pike is a fish, right? They make a mousse out of this fish
Mm,
and they mold it to this quenelle, which you've ever seen like at fancy places, they scoop the ice cream and like that
yeah.
oval football. So it was this big thing like that. It was pike mousse. And then around it, they put this lobster broth that was like, it was, I mean, beyond. Like you sat there and you like don't have an orgasm in front of your family with nobody actually touching your penis. That's how delicious it was.
That's something.
It was so fucking good. Like I can't even tell you. Cuddles got shit-faced hammered drunk.
Ooh.
Hammered drunk.
What did she drink there?
She was, what did you start with? A martini? She started with a vodka martini and then like 3 glasses of wine later. And I was trying to, going into the weekend, I was trying to like surprise her like with a hotel. And I told her about it because, you know, I just kind of felt like at the time I was like, do you want to do this or not? She was like, no. Fucking 2 glasses of wine in. She's like, let's get a hotel room.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
So we get a hotel room. And then Uncle Glory Hole and Uncle Jamie like, oh, well, I was like, let's go to a bar. Let's like continue the night. And my wife did the funniest thing ever. She's sitting there with a glass of water, hammered off her ass, trying to maintain. And somebody goes, what time is it? And she literally looks at her watch and pours
Oh,
the
God.
glass.
Oh no.
She fell for the instructions are on the heel.
Yeah, it was so adorable.
Situation.
But it was
Very
beautiful.
nice.
We had a view of the Freedom Tower and everything in
Ooh.
Soho. Yeah, it was
Nice.
really, it was
See,
quite nice.
okay. French food. I feel like, and listen, I've eaten in, sorry, I've eaten in Monaco.
Whoa. Okay. So Anthony, you
Sorry.
can't say anything now.
No,
Do you know what I just relived right there? Do you remember the early Sopranos where Christopher backs the band for Adriana and they're in the studio and the dickhead band guy goes, excuse me, but I've recorded in Denmark. And he
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like such a douche. And it's exactly what you just
I did
sounded
sound like that. I don't know if I'm such a fan of French food.
I'm not going to say
Like-
you're wrong here. I agree. I'm not dying for French food all the time.
I think it's the texture, because it's like, you know, the liver, like the liver mousse. I just, and I don't know if I had it before I went to Monaco, but there, our Christmas party, it was one of the dishes, and I was like, what's this? And like, oh, just eat it. And I was like, oh God. Well, everyone's fucking looking at me. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll taste it. And I was like, that's so good. No, I didn't mind the taste of it. It was the consistency that bothers me.
Yeah, but it's like a mousse. Like you don't like chocolate mousse?
Yeah, when it's chocolate mousse, not when I know it's fucking
So,
liver. I think
It's
that's
the
what it might.
consistency combined with the fact that it's liver.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to Dr. Dex, by the way, for catching the Sopranos reference. Yeah, but I mean, the intensity of flavor in a dish like that is insane.
Just just a heads up.
Go ahead.
There was a ban on foie gras that went into effect last year,
Get out of here.
but was overturned December 15th of last year, 2022. So you just got in New York City. So
Nice.
they just started serving it back serving it again, I guess, when you had it.
How do you ban foie gras? I mean, it is just
Because
so
of the
good.
whole thing. You know the whole thing.
There's another place. There's a new restaurant in the city I want to try.
I want to try that place you sent us the other day, the charcuterie place.
Me? Yeah, that does look good.
That looks insane. You just go there and you pick out.
That's not
you make your
impressive.
own. What? It's all the stuff we like. It's all the.
Can I
cured
tell you
meats
something?
And olives and cheeses and shit.
We're blowing up this charcuterie business way too
I
much.
love it.
Way
love
too
it.
much.
Why?
I mean, it's great. It's fucking. It's cured meat on a board. I mean, we've been
Yeah, I don't
doing
care
this
about
for
the board.
years as Italians. Now all of a sudden it's this whole fucking thing because it's the salami shaped like a rose.
No, I don't care about
I'll
the
give you a
shit.
salami shaped like a rose.
Give- What the?
I got one in my drawer.
Oh, God.
No, but this place is like, oh, it's the Chipotle of charcuterie. But what the fuck does that even? Chipotle is dog shit anyway. I don't even
I
know
know,
what
right?
that means.
That's a weird description.
I
The place looked good, and it looked, the stuff that they have, we're all fans of that kind of stuff. The peppers and the cheeses and all that stuff. We all eat that. We go the one thing that goes at every holiday gathering is the antipasta with all the.
That's true.
all the
That
stuff.
charcuterie. That fucking board is
Yeah,
empty
forget-
by the end of a
and who
party.
cares about shit about the board? Put it on a piece of wax paper for me, and don't you don't have to shape anything. Just slice it up and send it out, and I'm good.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But I was gonna say, I'm sorry, Jeannie, but I was gonna say, I guess the difference is like now there's like this posh, like, oh, it's the Chipotle of charcuterie, but that's a fucking Italian deli. Just go to an Italian deli, know what you're doing, get your 4 cured meats and your cheeses, and go home. You're done.
Yeah, but you got to slice it up. You got to put it all together. You got to sit there. I feel this is like a restaurant. You go there and you pick all the different, like there's the jams and the spreads and all this stuff, and you could have while it's like a social thing too. And the place, it looks halfway decent. It doesn't look like you just going to a deli and then going
Yeah.
home and sitting on your couch. It looks like a nice place.
I gotta tell you, when we're doing that stuff at home now, we don't even fucking. You just open up the deli bag and just fucking eat it right off the wax paper. We don't even put any effort into it anymore.
I like to make a nice sandwich. When I buy cold cuts all the time, and sometimes it's bad. I have to stop doing it. Middle of the night, I'll get up, I'll make a freaking sandwich, and it's like I get the peppers and the sometimes I'll mix a little mayo and mustard, throw that on there.
What is with you with eating in the? Can I just say this too?
I don't. I'm trying to stop. I don't do that much.
If I had a roasted red pepper after midnight, I'd be
oh
dead.
yeah, no.
I would be dead.
Why?
That's
What
why
does that
I
do to
can't
you?
ever eat them at all anymore. I get grossed out by them, to tell you the truth. It's the texture too. Of
Why?
them.
There's a
It's a
slimy
pepper.
texture. It's a slimy texture.
I don't like
But
it.
it's a pepper. It's not liver.
I'll tell you the only
It's
ones
a
that
vegetable.
don't bother me is made from a pizzeria / restaurant from our old neighborhood.
The only one's what? The red peppers?
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
don't gross me out.
It's not about the agita I get from a fucking
Well, that
red
too.
pepper is beyond. I would be dead. I would
Yeah.
be dead.
I don't.
You'd be like, oh, my chest is hurting me all night long.
100%.
Man, how old
Yeah.
are you guys?
Yeah, I don't know. A roasted red pepper and a sun-dried tomato. I cannot handle it.
Really?
You
Can't handle it.
That's
Yeah.
dude.
I don't know.
But yet,
See,
you can't handle that, but yet you ask your wife if you could have sex with her before you have sex. Makes sense. Pussy.
I don't know
But
what
you
that
didn't
has
give
to
us
do with-
some shit after that last episode, that consent episode, Frank.
I was just surprised she watched the episode.
Yeah, me too. That was also surprising.
That's what I fixated on. Like, holy shit, she watched it.
Last thing on food. So we get up in the hotel next morning and I go on Yelp because I'm like, what are we going to do for breakfast? And I realize we're like 3 blocks away from Dominic Ansell's bakery. This is the guy who invented the cronut, for those of you who don't know.
Ooh.
Had our very first cronut. This month's flavor happens to be peanut butter banana.
How was it?
It
Oh,
wa- let me tell you something. All the hype was real.
thanks for dropping one off for us, right, Frank? Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Honestly, yeah, we're good.
Could you only? Did you have a? Was there still a line outside?
No, there was no line outside, which I was grateful for, but it's deceiving because you walk in and you see the place, and then it's like 150 feet deep, and there's a 150-foot line that goes back in the other direction.
Oh
So you got to
shit!
kind
Okay.
of like walk past everybody and then get on the end of the line. But it was delightful. I mean, it was really, really a delicious pastry. They do a good job with that shit.
Mm.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it was good.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, the cronut is real. Which actually, and then I was eating it. I was like, this is fucking delicious. And then I started thinking about a couple of years ago when Dunkin' Donuts started making it during the initial craze, and I just started getting angry because I'm like, there's no way you could fucking replicate this with a shitty fucking Dunkin' Donut.
Actually,
Well,
there
what
is
do you want?
something similar. Definitely not as good, but it's not far. I'll send it to you.
Where,
So
like
you'll
around
have it.
here,
It's in Smithtown.
Smithtown.
Mhm.
Nothing good has ever come from Smithtown. Not even the Smiths.
Ah,
What is it? Tell me. I'm intrigued now. I want to know.
Hold on a minute. It's
You know
kind
what-
of like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as you're coming up with that, it's funny, Frank. He came up with like a second thing, which was like a popover, like donutty thing.
mhm.
It just
Oh.
hasn't taken off, and they were like in there, like, here, you want to try the new thing? Like and it's just like nobody fucking wants
Well,
that.
did it just how old is it? How long has he been pushing this thing?
I think I remember reading about it like a year ago. Like he's come back with another great thing, and it's just not taking off.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
You've heard of a cronut, though.
Yeah, but the guy who invented it, I don't know. I didn't know it
Yeah.
was invented recently. I'm sure, but why wouldn't donut place, Dunkin' Donut? You can't have the top of the line cronut every time you get a cronut.
But
you're
not
gonna have
everybody
to go,
makes them or tries
You're
to
gonna have
make
to
them.
go to Dunkin' Donuts or something.
Yeah, but they all tried right after he did it. They all, like, everybody, like I said, he got to Dunkin' Donuts, and Dunkin' Donuts was like, oh, we'll start doing it too. And it was just dog shit. But I'll tell you this, and I didn't forget Janine. We're gonna get to what she's gonna say. I could tell people are freaking the fuck out already. But like every pastry that this guy fucking makes looks like it came, like, when you're like at a place and you just can't get over how fake something looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
it's like like it's a prop in a movie or something.
Here, look at his Instagram. Look at these croissants. Look at that. It looks fake,
Mm.
but they're
They
like
look so good.
they're 100% real. And like this thing right here, this is a ham and cheese croissant that I had. I couldn't get over how fucking flavorful it was.
Ooh.
I was like dying.
What's that striped thing?
So this was the chocolate croissant.
Nice.
So in there was chocolate, which was pretty friggin' good. I got Cuddles a Nutella thing that she really liked. This is the cronut here, so you could see it's like a combination croissant donut. And they
That is
stick like a
nice.
cream in the middle, and they put this glaze on top. It is fucking good.
Now, I'm always hungry after this show.
Yeah. Go ahead, Janine. What were you gonna say?
Okay, so it's a certain bakery that makes, I don't know if it's half donut, half croissant. It's half something and half something else. Like in that aspect. And it is pretty good.
Is that
It is
Glen
pretty good.
Wayne?
No. Want me to tell you which one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alpine Bakery.
Oh, I feel like I've heard of Alpine Bakery.
Yeah. Pretty good.
All
One
right.
location.
Guess I'll have to get it next time.
It's only
Yeah.
Only
one
one
location.
location. That's it.
All right.
We'll have to do a taste test next time. All right.
What's
What else? All right. Let me get to this very quickly, because I know Janine hates this. Kevin McCarthy going for the Speaker of the House, right?
Right.
We talked about those crazy people like holding him up, and he was like, you wouldn't believe what they're asking for. It's crazy. I'm never going to give it to him. He gave them every last fucking thing. Just to
What were
become.
they asking for?
You know what? Okay, I can't go through everything because it's boring, but here's the
Whoa.
worst thing that they asked for: the ability to call a vote to oust him as Speaker whenever they want. So if you want to oust the Speaker of the House, first of all, everybody has their own rules. They always come up with their own shit, but it's nearly impossible to do so unless you make it a provision in that, because this is the 118th Congress, they have to pass their own rules, which they just did today. By a slim margin, he got it through. They passed their own set of rules, and in that is any Republican at any time during the session of Congress can say, I would like to call a vote to the floor to remove McCarthy as Speaker, and they have to have the vote. So they can vote him out now at any time. And in the beginning, he was like, why would I give them that? They don't, it's 20 of them. They're crazy. And he gave them that and everything else. So they have a bit of the at any moment they can go, we want this guy out, and it'll go to a vote.
That's because he's a giant asshole. No,
It's
he
kinda
just
crazy.
caves. He wanted what he wanted, and he got it, and he doesn't care what he had to do to get it. So
The general consensus
this is what
is
you deal with.
he is the least powerful Speaker of the House in the history of the country.
That's
because
what
of
you
that.
get.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Also, I thought this was nuts. The Biden administration is looking at a study and thinking about a nationwide ban on gas stoves.
Why is
So
that?
what are they saying? Is because of the natural gas, the consumption of natural
They're
natural
saying
gas?
we got Christmas, we got freedoms. Let's get those stoves. That's what they're going with.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
What?
The Consumer Product Safety Commission is mulling this action after a recent study showed emissions from devices that can cause health and respiratory problems, according to Bloomberg, this article in Bloomberg. The CPSC commissioner said this is a hidden hazard. Any option is on the table. Products that can't be made safe can be banned. Can you imagine
they're
the
not
thing that's
safe.
been in everybody's home for the last fucking 75 years? Now all of a sudden they're like, oh, this might not be safe.
Well, if they've
Well-
new studies, what are you gonna do if that's what they're finding out?
Electric stoves suck. Gas stoves are 100 times better to cook with.
That's what we have an electric stove, electric oven, everything.
I
We don't have
hate it.
gas, anything in this house,
This is why I won't eat at
okay.
your house, Frank.
and we like our stove, our oven.
Studies
Hate it.
studies link the gas stoves to respiratory illness, cardiovascular problems, cancer, and other health conditions. They're saying more than 12% of childhood asthma cases can be attributed to gas stoves, according to this report last month in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health.
Boom. All right. So if that's the case, then what's the big fucking deal? Just
You know what
cook,
weirds me
steam?
out? That seems like black magic. Those induction stoves. Have you seen these fucking things?
I don't think what. No, I don't think I've seen them.
Okay, an induction stove is you put the pan on the thing and it gets hot. You
Yeah,
take the
but
pan
you
off, you
touch
put your
it.
hand on it, cold.
Yeah,
I have one here.
You have an
In the
induction. You're
basement.
fucking fancy.
Only because someone gave it to me.
Oh,
I
that's some
don't-
fancy ass shit.
I've never bought a pan yet or a pot for it because I never cooked down here.
You
but
don't need a special pan or anything.
You
for it. It's
do.
regular pan, right?
No, I
No.
think
Oh,
you
it
need a.
needs-
I think you need a special pan for
It
it.
has
Yep.
to be a special pan. Okay.
Yeah, it has to be a black magic voodoo pan
Ah,
Yep.
to make it work.
that sounds pretty cool.
I don't know. Seems weird
And
to
there's
me.
no gas. It's an electric thing, right?
Yeah, but it's induction. Don't
Okay.
ask me what that means.
It means it's
It's something
lined up
how
for
it
the
gets
Hall of
hot.
Fame.
right?
It induces cooking, I believe.
Oh
Right.
God.
That makes
Andrew
sense.
Tate might have been hospitalized in Romania. I love a report like this where they're like, he
Fuck that
might have
guy.
been hospitalized.
Yeah, everybody might have been something.
Yeah.
We all might have been hospitalized.
All right. Most interesting, and thanks to Jumpstart Coffee Company for sponsoring this episode. Save 15% when you order your bag with the link in the description. Promo code AOA15. Do you know who Michael Jordan's son is dating?
Who?
I think Frank's going to gather a guess.
I'm going to say Michael Jordan's son.
It's fucked up. Like if you made
Gotta
this
be, what, 30
podcast,
years old.
John Stark's daughter.
son's got to be 30 years old. That's a
About
good
30
guess
years
from
old.
Jay Sabs.
Thank you.
John Stark's. I'll say he's dating not a Kardashian.
I don't think there's any left.
Really?
I mean, I guess
Kim's
Kim is
available.
back on the, yeah.
Larry Bird's daughter.
Another good guess.
That is fucking good. Thank you.
Patrick Ewing's daughter.
Okay. Michael Jordan's son is dating Scottie Pippen's
Son.
not daughter, ex-wife.
Oh.
All right.
Mhm. Larsa Pippen. So Michael
Larsa
Jordan's
Pippen.
teammate, his pal,
Larsa.
Hold on a minute.
whatever.
Can I have this?
Probably not Pippen anymore.
his ex-wife is banging Michael Jordan's son. How fucking awkward is that at the Chicago Bulls reunion?
I mean, Yeah, it's a little weird. It's nothing to do with Michael Jordan. He's not. I mean, I guess it's how was Thanksgiving at the Jordan house with the new girl?
Frank,
I don't
this
know.
is
Weird.
like fast forward 15 years, and my son starts banging your wife.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's awkward.
That's weird.
That is awkward.
I'll give you that. All right. Yeah, you just had to put it in perspective for me. Now I'm with you. I'm on the weird train with you here. It's definitely
Like,
not
I
good.
mean,
Wait, his son is Michael B. Jordan, the actor, right?
no, incorrect. No relation.
Wait a minute.
No relation.
No.
I forgot what
two
his. I think his son's name
completely
might be
different
Michael
families.
too. Yeah,
Wait, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Wait a minute.
but they're not
Michael
just like
Jordan.
dating. She's like all over TikTok, like all over him. Like people were criticizing her. And it's weird because people were like, go ahead, do what you got to do, girlfriend. Fuck that man and all that shit. But then there's people who are like, this kid, like, she's like flaunting the fact that she's banging Michael Jordan's kid.
Well, is Scottie Pippen like? How long have they been apart?
How long have they been
that it
divorced
matters.
for?
Long time. Right?
A long time. I still think it's
Right.
wrong. I mean, it could be 20 years ago they got divorced. It would still be
It's still weird. It's still a weird thing.
a really weird ass thing.
It'd be
Yeah.
like if I started dating like one of my friend's fathers, right?
So
Yes.
you're for it.
Yes.
Right,
Janine's
there's
like, this
nothing-
isn't weird at all.
Yeah.
This
This
is
is usual.
just trying to get you guys, comfortable with the idea in a few years.
All right, now let me
We were
ask you this.
comfortable with
though.
it a long time ago.
Let me ask you this. How old is Big Tone? Was he in his 70s?
71 or
75,
72.
let's say.
All right.
72, I don't know.
And I know he's still laying pipe like nobody's business. He's probably getting laid more than me and Frank combined in a week.
Yeah. Not me, but you guys combined. Go ahead.
But like if Janine, if I know it's your fantasy, Janine, to get him. Let's say you actually do. It happens. You don't have a lot of years of Tony the Tiger here. You know what I'm saying? Like at a certain point, he's gonna slow down a little bit.
You'd be like,
You really
all right.
wanna-
That's it. Let's call it a night.
I'm saying there's a cap on the amount of time you have with an older person. Doesn't bother you at all?
Cap with anybody.
No, I don't think so. I think he'll be pounding away until he takes his last breath.
Well, up here, that's what you're thinking.
Right.
That's what you want to think.
Right.
All right. I stand corrected.
Good for you.
I was at like a, what do they call those little like mingly things at work? What do they call
Party?
those? Yeah, like a party, I guess.
Okay.
And I ran into an old schoolmate.
Oh, I wonder who it is.
From high
Do
school.
I know them?
From high. Okay, so here, let me tell you what happened, and I want people's opinions on this. I'm gonna
Tell
put
me
it.
his name.
I'm putting it in the chat right now.
Okay.
I might be spelling this wrong.
Sending it to us. Okay.
Now, Frank and I went to the same high school. Janine and I didn't. Janine and us did not go to the same high school. But Janine, you might know the kid. I don't know.
That sounds very familiar.
Very
Go
familiar,
ahead.
right? So I'm looking at this guy, and we had talked a couple of weeks ago, knowing we were doing this thing, and then
Okay.
I'm looking at him, and I go, "Man, you look so familiar." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You look familiar too." I go, so then I start going, "Are you from Howard Beach?" Like with this and that. We're going through the whole thing. We finally nail it down that we went to the same high school. I go, "Did you go to this high school?" I did. Oh. And then I go, "What year did you graduate?" He goes, 2000. I go, "Me too." I'm like, "What's your last name?" He is 2 letters off from my last name. I go, "We
He
must have
sits
been in the
behind
same
you.
homeroom."
He sits behind you in like every class.
Yeah. I didn't fuck it. I'm like, "You look familiar," but I could not. Do you know who it is, Frank?
I know the name, and I'm sure if I saw him, I'd be like, "Oh, of course," but I can't picture him. I know the name, and I remember that name, but I can't picture him.
All right. So now I'm like, boy, now my whole life is starting to like flash in front of my eyes a little bit. Fast forward, he works with somebody. He works with his friend's mom. So he introduces me, and we're talking. And now I learned that that kid went to the same high school as us. So I go, she says the name, and I go, no, I don't know. Doesn't sound familiar. And she goes, then we get to what college did you go to? And I tell her the college. She goes, my son went to that college too. No shit. I go, what did he do? Now at the college, well, I went to St. John's, it's no surprise. But our TV and radio, our media division was in one building on one floor. And I go, what did he do? She goes, he ran the television station. She goes, what did you do? I go, I ran the radio station. I'm like, I had to see him. They were literally next door to each other.
Right.
I go, show me a picture. So she shows me a picture, and I go, yep, I know exactly who that is. And now I'm starting to sweat because I'm like, I might have been a dick. I was a little difficult in those college years, and now I'm panicking because. And now she's like, what? Spell your last name. I'm gonna text him. And now I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know.
Just make up someone's name. I'm Joe Gobbledygoots.
Oh, my full name Frank. So now
Not go to the same college though.
So I give her and now I'm stuck because she knows. I already said it. I got to repeat it. She texts him. She didn't get an answer back from him, but now I'm panicking because I'm like, I don't know if I was a dick to this guy or not. Because there was a little bit of like,
I'm gonna go say probably.
Oh,
radio.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably
TV.
too, because you always butted heads with management in the radio days.
Yeah,
and that's probably what happened. And I guess I'm sure he didn't answer because he hates you.
And now, if you remember, when I was doing radio back then, it was with somebody else, and he could be a handful at times. Sure. I was the nice one out of that duo.
Oh God! Now do I know who that person is?
Yeah, come on,
yeah,
you know
I think
who
you
that
do.
is.
Come on.
We don't talk anymore. Him and
is he a little?
Yeah. So now, I'm like, oh, I feel really bad because this is like a weird. Because now I know her, and it was like one of those. What do you call it? Like when you fucking. With other professionals, what do they call that? Networking. It was a networking thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm networking, and know this person now, and now she's gonna go back to her son and be like, oh, that guy was a dick. That guy was a huge dick.
Yeah, you were. But I mean, you're not tied to them in any kind of business way, right?
Not really. I mean, kind of, sort of, but not really. But here's the thing: like, how do you avoid? Like, I can't. Okay, here's what's weird. I cannot remember whether or not
you were or not.
Yeah, we had a good relationship or not. And then I'm looking at this guy, and we had to be in the same homeroom, and I don't remember this fucking kid whatsoever.
Are they? Let me ask you this: are these people that you like, the radio guy and the other guy from high school? Are they more successful than we are?
I got news for you, buddy. Everybody's more successful than we are.
Darn it. Are you you're not friends with him on Facebook, right?
No, I don't think so. And then I'm probably getting this wrong, but the guy goes to me. He goes, you know who I was just talking to the other day? And he lays this name on me. And I start laughing because, again, I just texted it to you, Frank. I can't picture this guy's face, but I remember his name. And he was one of those guys where he was just...
I remember him.
The fucking...
Yeah, I remember him.
His name was such a peculiar name.
He does have a...
Oh,
yeah.
Am I picturing the right person? See, that's...
I don't even fucking
know. I gotta break out the yearbook.
I gotta break out a year. I can't remember.
That's funny. Oh,
My father...
names. Well, you know what the problem is? We haven't gone to any reunions. The other problem with that is I never get... Do you get invitations to reunions for our high school?
Not anymore.
Yeah,
I got like
terrible.
a 5 out of 10 year. Yeah. My father, when I graduated, we graduated 8th grade, my father and I were sitting in a room, and he goes, believe me when I tell you, he goes, you're not even going to remember these people, and none of this is going to matter. And I go, when you're 8th grade, how old are we? 13 or whatever it was?
Yeah, like this is the most important stuff going on right now.
It was so and some of those, Frank and I have been together since 4th grade. Some of those kids I was with since kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked at him and I go, you're fucking crazy. There is no way these people aren't going to be a major part of my life for the rest of my life, and now I can't fucking remember one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
It's crazy.
horrible. You're
It's crazy.
horrible.
High school,
But you remember everybody from high school?
all the
I remember
wonderful memories
everyone.
of high school, prom, hockey games, dances, school trips, awesome shit that we fucking
Yeah,
did,
we
all this
remember
great
all
stuff.
that stuff.
This kid probably sat 4 feet away from me for 4 fucking years. I can't remember a goddamn thing I did with him.
Well, he didn't make a big impact. I remember the names. The names stick out like a sore thumb. As soon as you sent them to me, I was like, yeah, of course. But
I always remember people. I do have a good memory. I really do. Um, okay, for instance, you're gonna laugh at this, but um, like I always remember people's faces. Don't laugh at me, but I know you are. Um, on our honeymoon, we met a couple from Long Island,
here we go.
and we kept in touch with them, and we emailed them like every so
You're
often,
kidding.
and then we stopped, right? Because she switched jobs, so she didn't use that email anymore or something, whatever. About 5 years ago, there I was walking down a Target aisle, and now this is like I'm gonna say, God, 11 years after our wedding. I was walking down the aisle in Target, and this guy comes next to me, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And now I forgot his name, but I was like, "It's you. And he looked at me. He goes, "Wait." He goes, he's looking at me, and I'm like, "You're from the cruise. Remember we met?" And he's like, "Oh my God, yes, I do remember." Now my husband was like, "How the hell did you even remember his face?" And I was like, "I don't know," because we weren't friends on Facebook. Surprisingly, we weren't. I just have a good memory of people. I do.
I remember faces. I'll if I see someone I recognize, I could probably tell you, oh yeah, from this, from that, from that. But like I cannot retain their name. Like I'll see them, I'll go, I know you,
Mm,
but I cannot for the life of me ever remember your name.
mm.
I'm very bad with names.
But isn't it weird? It's like, okay, you recognize the face, Janine. Can you remember all the things that you did with that person?
Oh, why? How could you? That's a
Now,
lot.
Because that's the weird thing about this. Like, I recognize this guy and I go, you look familiar. And okay, I got the name down. We figured out we were at the same high school. Everything else is a complete blur. I have no idea if this guy was my fucking science partner. I have no idea if
Why
we,
would you remember that? That's all like stuff. That's a blur. That's all every day. It's all
mm,
well,
kind of
because
meld together.
when you're in a high school with 400 other people in your grade, you're like, oh, we were in the same year. Right? What's your last name? And then he tells you, and you're like, we have this. We must have been in the same home, and you can't remember the guy in your
mm.
fucking homeroom. Like that's.
Yeah, but what? There were 30 people in our homeroom. What are you gonna? You can't remember everybody. 25 years ago.
That hurt the hardest. That hurt
Oof.
the hardest. When he gave me the other guy's name, and I go, I haven't heard that name, and I did the math quickly, and I was like, oh my god, it's been 22 years.
Yeah, that's half your life ago. More than
Some
that.
somebody born the year that we graduated can legally drink alcohol now. That's
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah.
That is ridiculously fucked up.
Whenever like it's so weird. My nieces are in their teens, and whenever we talk about like something like 9/11, they weren't around,
I
and
know.
it's so weird to be like, oh shit, you weren't even born yet.
Now
You just forget.
I'll tell you the weirdest thing about your nieces is your nieces are now, or at least the one is in the school that we were in. That
Both of them.
they're both in there now. Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
thought. That
yeah,
is
freshman, and yeah,
is so uncomfortable to me. Like that is so.
they
This
have some of
can't.
our teachers. They talk to me about. We have the same. We had the same teachers.
I know. And they go, oh, you know what Mr. So and so said to me the other day that he remembers when you did this, and you're just going, none of this is right. This can't be right.
This is
This
life, my friend.
this cannot be correct.
Yeah, we have our old hockey coach, head coach, teaches. Still teaches there. Has them for gym, and it's like, yeah, 20-something years later. It's crazy. Same person, Italian classes, the same teacher. It's they're there for, that's what it is. 22 years later.
It's so strange. And then when we were at the school, you would hear teachers go, "I taught your uncle," or "I taught your dad," and you'd be like, "Man, you're fucking old." And some of those teachers are still fucking there teaching your nieces.
And they're saying that I taught your uncle. They're saying that to our nieces and
And you're the uncle now, which is so, I can't wrap my head around it. I just cannot wrap my head around it.
It's insane.
It escapes me.
Here's something that'll blow your mind. You ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this.
I'm probably
Okay.
Not after today.
Okay, I'm gonna look. I just gotta get the exact age, because this will shock you.
Is this going to be like one of those things like, did you know Albert Einstein was closer to this year than
Something like that.
And you're like,
Okay.
oh, fuck.
So do you remember Jack Klumpus, the guy who gave Jerry the pen in Seinfeld?
In Florida? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In that episode,
Take the pen.
take the pen.
By the way, best eyebrows on television ever.
Oh, sure.
Jack Klumpus? Okay, go ahead.
He was only 55 years old in that episode.
Holy shit. For real?
He was 55.
He looked like he was 85.
He looked like he was 85. He was only 55 years old in the pen episode.
God damn.
He was only 15 years older than us. Isn't that fucked up?
No, it's really fucked up. I go, how old was Jerry in that? I didn't even put us into that category, that he was only 15 years older than us.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Jack Klumpus in Take the Pen was only 15 years older.
When he's fucking putting the toothpick in his mouth coming out of the restaurant.
Yeah. I did not have a Coke.
Where are you going to get a meal like that?
Yeah. He was a good character. But yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Wasn't
Somebody
even
sent me
60.
a clip of Nikki Glazer. You know Nikki Glazer?
Yeah, comedian.
I don't know what podcast she was on, but she said that she was talking to Jerry Seinfeld, and he apologized for the finale of Seinfeld to her. And she was like, why? I thought it was great. And you know what he said, which it never really occurred to me, because I think you're the same way. I think we both thought the fucking finale was brilliant.
I liked the finale. My big complaint with the finale is that it wasn't enough of them. It was too much
Of the characters.
It was the other characters, and the first half of the episode, it was a two-parter. The first half of the episode was them, the four of them, but then the whole part two, I think they had like 4 lines. It wasn't Jerry, George Kramer, or Elaine. It was just the side characters, and that was
fair
kinda,
critique. Yeah, that's a fair critique. But I think you and I were the few people that kind of knew that which is why I think it's so brilliant. The last line in the episode is the first line in the pilot.
right.
I mean, that's what brings it full fucking circle. And when
The
he says,
whole button on the shirt, yeah.
haven't we talked about this yet? And he's like, have we?
think
I mean,
so.
fucking
We
brilliant.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was great. And they're
Brilliant.
sitting like they would be at the table.
But this is what I never realized. I'd love to get your opinion on this, Robin, too, and a bunch of the people in the chat. What he was apologizing for was, he said he listened to the critics when he wrote the episode and feels like now he shouldn't have. Meaning, when people critique the show, even favorable critiques, they always kind of said that Jerry, George, Kramer, and Elaine were bad people. Like, meaning like the shit that they did was fairly mean, which is accurate. I mean, the stuff that they did was mean, but he felt like they were bad people, and he felt like he had to put them in their place, which is why they wind up that's why he wrote the Good Samaritan story arc, and they go to jail. He said if he did that today, he wouldn't do that, because comedy in its essence can be mean. He said, but Jerry, George, Kramer, and Elaine weren't necessarily bad people, even though at the time everybody kind of wrote them off as they were, because they spoke their mind, or they broke up with the girlfriend, or they did all these.
They broke up for stupid little reasons.
Right.
And
Right.
They were just, yeah, they were a little bit on the selfish side. But in the early days of the show, like the first few seasons, normal, they were doing everyday sort of things. There was like a transition midway through the series where the episodes took a different kind of twist, where each member of the cast had their own kind of plot in every
Storyline.
episode.
Yeah, right.
But in the first few seasons, they were all revolved around the same plot for the most part. And it was, going to a funeral or a ball game or this or that, whatever it was. And it was everyday stuff. The second half of the series got a little more out there. And they admitted, and Jerry, I think, said that when the turning point was when George rescued the whale. I think that was like the turning point. Once he did that, they kind of took liberties with reality.
Wasn't it the one where it was something with the cat and the restaurant blowing up? Wasn't that the one where everybody had a storyline and they all tied in together at the end?
That was only the first season.
That was the first season?
First or second season. That was the busboy episode.
The busboy, that's it. Yes. I thought that was like 3.
Very early. No. That was very early.
All right. We'll have to go back.
I think they went a little bit outside of reality. Like they did weird, crazy stuff. Like they had the
they were bending reality to make all the storylines work.
And just to make it all funny. And, but a lot of it, the first half was about dating and real life stuff. And then they got into they're writing a pilot. They're working for NBC. They're doing all these they're opening a movie theater, all these crazy plots that kind of got out there. But it all worked, in my opinion.
But I tell you what, it never dawned on me that he wrote that from a position of these are intrinsically bad people and they need to get their comeuppance at the end of this series. Like that, even watching
that's what I thought it was. Because they're from New York and they're all, because that's how they behaved in the episode when they saw the guy getting mugged. This guy, and they were making fun of it. You look at all the episodes, whenever something crazy happens, that's a shame. That whole, it would always be like that.
You're right, but it just never dawned on me. I just thought it was another little wacky scenario that they found themselves in. Because I was more fixated on whoever heard of the good, like I had heard, like that was like a thing, like people had heard of this thing, but didn't know it was real and would really play out in a scenario like this. I was more fixated on that than, they're finally getting what's coming to them,
Right, because that was I remember watching the last episode and going, yeah, they were they were assholes. I mean, you look at, for example, George faking handicap to get all the perks at his office.
Right.
Trying to slip a guy a Mickey. George has a ton of them. They burned down the cabin, and all this.
Like I know they got everybody kind of got their chance to get their little revenge in, but again, I never
dog. Elaine kidnaps a dog.
Right. I never felt like they were bad people. I just always felt like their behavior was a little off at times, but for comedic purposes. I never thought,
Well, yeah, but then I could go through every episode. They all did something shitty. Elaine eats the cake out of Peterman's office. Kramer, the doves, the whole thing. He did a million things. I don't know.
The doves.
The doves fly away. He gets on a plane to harass the guy about the rent or whatever it was. There's a lot of shit that they all kind of did that was shitty. They got in the limousine, pretended to be Nazis.
The Nazi bit. Remember that?
That was
funny.
Crazy. That was a crazy episode. That was hilarious. I mean, they didn't pretend to be Nazis outside of the limo, but that was a funny episode.
Just to take a limo from the airport.
Just to get the limo. That was a crazy. I imagine thinking, because you write that episode and you go, all right, they pretend to be O'Brien just to get the limo. Great. And then to take that and go, well, let's give them the worst consequence to that. Let's make them have to pretend to be Nazis to keep the charade up. That's insane, the way they wrote that.
Oh, that was good. A couple things in the live chat I want to acknowledge, Frank. Paige said, today's the anniversary of Bob Saget.
Wow. 1 year?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? You look back on 2022, There were I feel like that was the year of celebrity deaths. It was just, I feel like more than most years.
Mm.
There were so many more than you go, oh shit, I can't believe it's that many.
Yeah.
It's so many. It's unbelievable. Bob Saget's just one, but it's a big one.
But you know what's weird? I feel like now every year we get a last minute death before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like it was Barbara Walters
Barbara
this year.
Pele,
Pele. Last year it was
Betty White.
Betty White. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always
And
an under the wire one.
Yeah, right. There's always an under the wire one. That's become like the thing now. Curious to see who's going to be. By the way, still think Bob Saget was murdered, and I will never, ever, ever move off of that. And
You're probably right.
I think we're so right. I think the documentary is going to hit in like 5 years, and you're going to be like, "See, I'm not surprised. I knew it all along. They found this other thing. Somebody comes out of the woodworks. All that fucking shit."
Yeah, no, I hear you.
We should do an episode on mysterious deaths.
On mysterious deaths.
Like when you look at like Biggie, Tupac, there's like 47 movies on that. You look at Kurt Cobain, there's like 20 different documentaries on that death. There's a lot of deaths out there that people just have a lot of conflicting evidence about.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'm trying to look up. I wish people would just make a list instead of the name and like 3 paragraphs. Name 3, but just give me the list of who died in 2022.
Oh, in like a year? All right, while you're finding that, I've been loosely following Bird is going out on a date or something. I'm sorry, Bird. I couldn't get I think she's dating a new dude. Good for her.
Congrats. Very nice.
Yeah.
Learn a lot.
Feel free to keep us posted so we can live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at 2 people that have not dated in a while and are not dating anytime soon.
No, good luck on your date. Hope
By the way,
everything
even
is
if our
good.
wives do leave us, we've still got a lot of work to do before we could get back out there on the scene.
Let's see. Sidney Poitier.
Oh, Sidney Poitier.
Bob Saget.
That's a fun name to say. Poitier.
Louis Anderson. Meatloaf. Let's see.
That was a bit. You know what? I think all of those were Louis Anderson. Those are all pretty close to each other too.
What's his name? Norm Macdonald.
Fucking Norm Macdonald. I'm still not over that.
William Hurt. Taylor Hawkins.
I'm still not
Estelle
over
Harris,
Taylor Hawkins.
George's mom, Estelle Harris.
Yeah.
And I think Jerry's mom, I forget her name. She died last year too. Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried is a little devastating.
Ray Liotta. James Caan.
Yeah, and Ray Liotta. Yeah, that's devastating.
Naomi Judd. Tony Sirico from The Sopranos. Paul Sorvino.
Not a good year for mob movie characters.
New. Let's see. Olivia Newton-John. Anne Heche. Queen Elizabeth. Louise Fletcher, who is Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Coolio. Loretta Lynn, old country singer. Angela Lansbury. Robbie Coltrane, who's Hagrid in Harry Potter. Leslie Jordan. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis
Carter.
was one of those weird ones where it's like Jerry Lee Lewis died, and I was like, no, he didn't. And then it was like 3 days later, like, oh, he died now.
Oh, yeah, no, he did.
Now he's dead.
Yep. Gallagher.
But we still have Gallagher too, so we got to look at the bright side of things.
Do we?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
Christine McVie. Kirstie Alley. Bob McGrath from Sesame Street. Twitch. DJ Twitch.
Was Twitch 2022? Or that was this year?
Sure.
Oh, no, that was 2022. Yeah, right.
Pretty sure.
You ever forget somebody died and then you're reminded of it and you're just sad all over again?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, he's dead. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
It sucks.
You know who
There's a
just
lot.
died from Adam Rich?
Adam Rich from 8 is Enough.
8 is Enough.
Yeah.
Child star during 8 is Enough would grow up and go on to host Man vs. Food and eat a lot of food.
Oh. He was young. He wasn't that old. 50s.
Yeah. That's Adam Richman, by the way. That's not the same guy. Just doing a little shtick.
Oh,
Just some jokes for people.
very good. Yeah, too many people last year.
Yeah. I think we're doing okay this year. Who's died this year? Barbara Walters? No, that was
That was
2022.
last year. This year,
I mean, we're only 9 days in.
yeah. Well, this year was the guy you just mentioned, right?
Adam Rich, yeah.
Adam Rich. I'll tell you right now. Deaths. Let's see. 2023.
Your wife. I have the opposite. I always lament people who are dead only to have Frank tell me that they're alive. I've done that.
Oh, last year was also Fred Willard. From like Waiting for all those movies, Waiting for Guffman and all those.
Fred Willard, was he the Smuckers guy?
He Smuckers guy, maybe.
Yeah, remember on the Today Show?
He was the guy that was in like Best in Show and
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Modern Family.
was he a Modern Family?
Yeah. Who is the Smuckers guy now? Shit.
I have no idea.
Oh, God damn it.
I feel like someone big died this year so far. I could be wrong. Like someone.
Okay,
famous.
can I just tell you something? I just go Google Smuckers, and then I got to TOD, and it's autofilled Smuckers Today Show guy.
Smuckers Today Show guy?
Yeah. Willard Scott.
Oh, Willard Scott. Okay.
Yeah. That was
I don't
close.
know. That's the drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire, Adam Rich. This is this year so far.
The drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah, he died.
Is that Fire?
Gangsta Boo. She was young, 43 years old, rapper.
Well, you know what's amazing about that? Like, you look at that from TMZ, like, the so-and-so rapper died, and you read the name, and you're like, come on. Like, they might have had one, like, it's like all these rappers die, and you go, I don't even know who the fuck this is. Like, come on. Like, this is not a big...
yeah, it's true. I don't know. Rapper,
like,
true.
Little Stormzy passed away, and you're like, who? Like,
Raven.
They had 50,000 views on TikTok. And you're like, okay, this is not a celebrity death.
Wait, no, that can't be right.
Little Stormzy?
Raven. Well, Raven said that Bam Margera just died.
Just now?
Was pronounced dead 3 days ago.
Believe that.
3 days ago.
No, not 3 days ago.
Oh, he was pronounced dead, but he came. They revived him.
Near death. Yeah.
Near death. Okay.
And I got news for you. We're gonna go through 6 more of that with Bam Margera until he actually does die.
True. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep. So, celebrity deaths. I always, especially the ones that come out of nowhere, like Robin Williams and what's his name?
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, that kind of stuff.
I'm annoyed at Bam Margera. Can I tell you that as we wrap up here? As we gotta wrap up. Okay, I'm a little annoyed at these guys that should in no way be famous or have money or wealth of any kind, and they do, and they're squandering it with bullshit. Like, I know alcoholism is a real disease, so like, take it easy on me. But you look at a guy like like you look at Steve-O, and he's like, all right, he fucking figured it out. Like, he looked at himself in the mirror and go, I'm a world-class fuck up who got incredibly lucky and used my bizarre deranged talent to make a halfway decent living. I am not going to screw this up by killing myself. And this fucking Bam Margera can't get himself out of the gutter. I don't understand it.
All right, listen, you get, like you said, alcohol, drugs, and when they get a hold of you.
But if you're
hard.
like, Bam Margera should be in the plumbers union right now and like getting written up for doing a poor job at it. You know what I'm saying? And he is so blessed and lucky. You got to be like, all right, I got to fucking, I got to figure this out, turn this shit around. Like, I get a little annoyed at people that squander, that like piss in the wind. I feel like he's pissing in the wind. Like, enough with your bullshit. Like, figure it out.
I hear you, but I feel like some things you can't control. Like you can control it, but some things are very, very difficult to control. And I think he's under that kind of thing. I'm sure he would be, if he wasn't hooked on all that kind of stuff, he would, he'd have his stuff together. But that controls you.
Raven says he's been in a conservatorship. I'm telling you what, I'd like to get him in a conservatorship with Britney's dad, because I think that guy fucking runs a tight ship.
That's a little too tight.
I think if anybody can save Bam Margera, it's fucking Britney's dad.
Is that a possible thing? Can you hook that up?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna believe Raven.
Okay.
Here's somebody. Here's the other thing too. We should have talked to Jeannie about this. Brittany and her sister are fighting.
Okay.
Brittany's sister goes, "You don't know what it's like to be Brittany's sister." And then Brittany turns around and social media and goes, "How about trying to be fucking Brittany, bitch? Like fucking, like who the
It's
fuck are
Britney,
you,
bitch?
Yeah. You're the fucking second one. You're the sister. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what?
You talking about? What's her name? She was famous too, right? She's Jamie Lynn or something.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes. I can't even remember for what though.
I thought she sang and or whatever. It was just the same stuff. She had her own album or something.
All right, but who would give a flying fuck if it wasn't for the fact that that's Brittany's sister?
Right. She wouldn't. Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
But I'm sure it's like, oh, she's living her shadow kind of thing. But you could have nothing. You know, could be grateful for if you have that kind of that. At least you're somebody.
I hope you don't think this is inappropriate, but I've had a good time staring at your D all episode.
That's why I show it off, so people can enjoy it.
Can you pick up your D a little bit? It's hanging a little low.
It's hanging a little.
Yeah.
You know what?
There you go. What is that? Why do you? I know I don't want to break a fourth wall here, but
all right, we'll break it up. This is.
By the way, that spells codes. Cods.
Dotes. Codes.
Roads.
This is a Christmas ornament. The D is for our dog Dexter.
It all makes sense now.
Yes. The big D.
I thought you were being the big D, and your wife was like, "Here, asshole, hang this on your fucking tree."
Little from column A, little from column B. Or D.
Yeah.
It's just it's a plastic Christmas ornament that my in-laws got us for the tree.
That's very nice. That is lovely.
Yes.
I am fucking fed up with Christmas decorations. I'm annoyed when I see one now.
Well, you're literally your
I know.
background has Christmas decorations.
I know. I gotta
so
take
I
this
don't know what to tell
down. Driving me crazy.
Don't rewatch this episode.
I do. I'm so into Christmas all year long, and then like January 4th, I'm like, give me a fucking break with these decorations already.
There's got to be an easier way than every year. Put them up, take them down. This should be like a switch that like they get hidden in some kind of compartment.
Like some Batcave shit?
Yeah, or like your lawn flips over. And like the Christmas decorations are underground, upside down.
That'd be pretty sweet. All right, get a pad, man. Get to inventing.
All right.
I'm pretty sure inventing this stuff is 90% just drawing it and then going to somebody.
I'm the idea guy.
This.
I'm the idea guy, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll put the ideas out there. Someone else invented.
Exactly. All right, that's it. You got anything?
I think I'm good over here. Remember, get your jump start. Become a member. You got the join button down below.
Join it.
Yeah, join it up. 2023, baby. Gonna be a big year for us.
Big year.
Big year. We'll see what we can do with it.
When do you think we're gonna give up on it? Like February?
I mean, if this is a New Year's resolution, I say by Friday.
All right. Well, we'll see you Wednesday.
Show me potato salad.
Last good show of the year.
That's it.
Maybe we should go now.
Go ahead.